Welcome in, everybody. Here we go. It's Too Much Fantasy Football. Brian and Brennen here to break down players to avoid. Yes, these are the players that we have just not drafted hardly at all, maybe not even at all. And before we get into that, we have some news and notes. Brennan, how you doing today? You ready? It's football time.
I'm excited. It's football time. Week 2 of preseason, right?
It is week 2. We got football this past weekend, man. And this is not the show that recaps all of that. We might talk about it a little bit here, but needless to say, excitement out the wazoo. I mean, let me just jump right to it as far as the news because it was the only one I had in here. But like Ty Simpson, man, um, what is he going to be good?
He's got Sean McVay calling plays, so I glued to the hip to one of the best play callers. The chances of him being good are better than him being bad, I would say.
And let me just hit the pause button because, folks, we're not jumping out. We're not getting crazy here. You know, Riley Leonard looks so good. Who was the Texas quarterback for the Colts that was like one of the best performances of all time in the preseason? Ellinger, just a few years ago. All of
Oh,
a sudden,
Sam
we thought
Ellinger,
he was
yes.
good, and just nothing happened. So, yes, Ty Simpson is in week 1 of the preseason, playing against backups on backups on backups. But still, this is the cat that couldn't play, only started a handful of games. And I mean, 21 for 25, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Got to feel good if you're a Rams fan.
Yeah, you got to be like you needed this as because obviously the chips were in. You traded for Myles Garrett after drafting Ty Simpson, which everyone thought like that the chips would be in of like drafting like Makai Lemon or something else of that sort. But hey, like Matt Stafford is over he's closer to 40. So and it shows how volatile it is to have a backup quarterback. Like ask the Colts. Like as soon as Daniel Jones went down, they called up, Philip Rivers was like, hey, can you go play football for us, please?
Right. Yeah. And Matt Stafford, he's a tough son of a bitch, but age stops for no man unless you're Tom Brady. All right. Let's start here at the top, though. Ty Simpson, you aren't supposed to be what we were opening up with. We're going to talk about the biggest scare that I've had all season going into this early fantasy football season. Breece Hall went down, and as soon as you read that non-contact injury, my heart stopped. I was like, here we go. ACL number 2, it's gone. But calm down, folks. It looks like it's just a groin strain. Was helped off, got off the field. Aaron Glenn, head coach, sounds optimistic. Are you freaking out?
Is Aaron Glenn typically, is he lie or is he an honest coach? I think that's the coach index speak. I don't know where he's at but regardless, like anything with groins, I feel like it's not terror. Like it's better than what hamstring, right? Pulling the hammy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah. So the groin, so I'm a little more optimistic, and obviously just everything a part of that offense becomes very volatile if something is missing. Like if Breece Hall is missing, it becomes Breece Allen, right? We all know this, but and it kind of lingers. Like Breece Hall is objectively better than Braylon Allen. It's about moving the football, so it kind of affects Garrett Wilson and affects Geno Smith. So it's one of those where it's just like I'm still drafting where he's going. I like where his ADP is, but I'm just hoping to get better news before September.
I was just, yeah, all in all, like, this is probably the best time for it to happen. It's early in the preseason. This guy doesn't need to work in the preseason. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a vet. He knows that he is going to be the engine of this team. So, at least now he can't get injured again the rest of the preseason because hopefully he's just going to sit out the rest. Braylon Allen, of course, yeah, he is the backup. We saw him rip off a 31-yard touchdown. And then Isaiah Davis, talented as well. I really like Braylon Allen. I thought he was fun coming out of college just because of the fact that he might have been 19 right before the draft, but 20 years old. He's still very, very young kid, big old fella, 6'2", 6'3", something like that. So, either way, let's talk about another really impressive running back who wasn't very impressive this week because we didn't get to see him all that much. And Jeremiyah Love, man, high ankle sprain, first NFL action. Looks to be kept out for the rest of the preseason. Cardinals are hopeful for his return. How are you looking and going about this?
He looks so good in the preseason, and then again playing a meaningless game, and obviously it's your third overall pick, and then he goes down with a high ankle sprain. We're going to be talking about like our do not drafts, and he probably will be mentioned one or a few times. For me, it's like it sucks. This is the same injury Hampton had, and we saw what happened to him. Like he came back, looked great, but it's about cutting, and that's one of the strongest suits of Jeremiah Love's game is being evasive. I'm he was going as like RB13. Yeah, it's gonna go down a little bit.
which, like, okay, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I'm happy he got hurt, but I think I actually might get more exposure to him this season because his ADP goes down because of the injury. I still think he could finish. I guess we'll get into it later. Never mind. We're gonna pocket this because it's probably just gonna same thing we're gonna dig into. Ty Simpson we talked about. Moving on to the next one, we got Patriots RBs. Looks like it's going to be a true 50-50 split. Expectations are a rough 50-50 backfield split for Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. Short yardage work and passing down should be going to Stevenson. That's the juicy stuff.
This actually is good news for Travion. Like everyone actually thought it would be, Henderson for the good amount, and then Travion seems to kind of just spell him. But like it's 50-50. Henderson actually is going to get, I feel like, more usage than I thought.
I had it closer to like a 60-40, 65-35 style split. I was very out on Travion Henderson. Ramondre Stevenson's one of my highest owned running backs in best ball. So I see this as positive news. As some people are freaking out. No, this is more than I thought he was going to get, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people in the fantasy world just think Ramondre's a scrub, which is just not true. Like he has a case of the fumbles. He does that, but he's still a very good runner.
I mean, Basal Tootin has a case of those too, but I'm still all after him,
Gross.
Next up, speaking of gross, Puka Nacua remains sidelined with is this just the new injury, the new trending one? I feel like so many groin injuries right now, but Puka, a little banged up. Rams have no indication on his week 1 availability. I've also heard rumors he could get suspended possibly too. They're also playing in Australia, so take all that for what you will.
I don't think he's suspended. Like I don't. The NFL doesn't believe in real punishment, so like we can throw that out the window. For him being, I think it's really more like maybe it could be a contract thing. Like I don't know if you saw like the CMC thing. The tightness is indicative of actually him winning a new contract possibly. So like, he's under Puka's on his last year of his deal. Like if he's injured, like why would he want to rush out there? He's on a contract here. He needs to get paid. So like any type of injury for Puka, I have this will be more of like a thinks about himself before he thinks about the team kind of thing.
Which sucks. There's always that team that's like got all of the Super Bowl aspirations built into it. And there's some sort of superstar or semi-superstar. Not to say that he is a semi, but just situationally, that just kind of can cause a whole, domino fall of all of these things that could happen.
Same with George Pickens. Like if he has any sort of injury, he's on a franchise tag. He's probably gonna be like, good.
Making business decisions.
And I don't blame him.
There. Yeah, I don't either. Tony Pollard's not at practice today. We're recording this on Monday. You're getting it on Tuesday, August 18th. But Pollard was not at practice on Monday. Monitoring Titans backfield right now because behind him we've got Tajay Spears, who I begrudgingly love too much. And then we also have Nick Singleton, who dude caught over 100 passes in college. That's something we like.
And can't pass block to save his life. I don't know if you saw that, but it's bad. He will not be in third downs at all because
love that.
He got obliterated.
I don't have a lot of Tajay, but I am close to 10% Tajay. So, yeeks. Excited.
I'm in on Tony Pollard, but I think this is like a dude's day. He played on Sunday and he actually looked pretty good. So I think this is more of just like a vet relaxed day, if I had to guess.
Just got excited. I haven't heard Dude's Day in 7 months.
I'm
getting excited, man.
Welcome back,
baby. Broncos. We got Waddle. We have Dobbins, both back out on the field. Return to practice. Looking like they're good to go. Couple of regular banged up Betties over here, but we're good to go.
Yeah, it's you're going to be seeing this a lot with with these two specifically on the Broncos. Like, hey, they were back in the field. Congrats! Like, you are the winner.
Yeah, Waddle, Dart, Scatabo, Dobbins. These guys they like the blue tent. That's where they hang out. That's where the cool kids hang out. Makai Lemon wants to be a cool kid. He is still sidelined with that hamstring injury. We saw videos of him with the jugs machine, but it looks like that's about the length of his practice today.
I'm out. I've been out on Makai Lemon. I have friends that do like his ADP. I'm just kind of, with a hamstring, I think he will play out better near the end of the year. I think that's what it is for best ball. But like right now, I think you're not going to get back in value of where you draft him currently. You're going to have to wait a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't have a lot of exposure to Lemon. I worry that this team can't really do a whole hell of a lot past, Devonta Smith and Saquon Barkley. So I think that's kind of kept me away a bit. But Lemon's a fun prospect. I wanted to see him have a good season, but
I do too.
I might just miss out on that though. All right. Do we really need to talk about this, Brian? Probably not. But Anthony Richardson looks like he's gonna be on the roster, man. He looked very Anthony Richardson this weekend, but he also looked pretty good. All those fantasy points he put up.
Yeah, he looked really good actually. He threw an interception, but it literally hit the receiver's hands. That was So he did. He had one fumble that was really only his fault. But like again, like the Colts should keep him. If Daniel Jones goes down, he should immediately play backup and use him for when he's healthy. Because again, Anthony Richardson's problem is he can't stay healthy. But if you only use him for a couple games and he can just run over people, that's great.
Yeah. And I took him in best ball this summer, so I'd love to just be able to flex on the fact that I got 4 weeks from Anthony Richardson randomly throughout the season. This is the last bit of big news I think that we've got here today. Emeka Egbuka. Oh boy, I almost went full Gronk there. He is considered week to week with toe injury availability. Yeah.
Why do you say month to month?
Yikes! I guess.
That's what turf toe is. Turf toe is month to month. It's not a. It's. I think he's got turf toe, Brian.
He won't say it. Nobody will say turf toe. He went to another specialist to get it diagnosed as toe disease.
Why? Yeah. Toe sprain and toe specialist. Yeah, that's what you do, and not turf toe.
With turf toe.
I'm out. I'm 100% out.
The question now is, how high is too high to take Chris Godwin? Because our bags are packed, baby.
Dude, him, Ted Hurst. I mean, like the problem is like McMillan's still unsure. I haven't heard any positive news yet because he has another. What did he have? A hamstring? It wasn't neck again, was it?
I want to say it was hamstring or groin. Like groin is just jumping out at me this year for whatever reason. And then who's the one we're forgetting?
Well, there's Ted Hurst, Chris Godwin, Egg, and then McMillan. Those are the only. Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson.
Never mind. Yeah,
that's mean because I bet you he'll be fantasy viable now that we say this for a couple weeks.
Yeah, of course.
Just to shut us up.
Nothing against him, but he's just got more talented guys in front of him. So, Chris Godwin is going to. If this is month to month, if this keeps him out at least the first month of the season, Chris Godwin, there's no reason he can't go in the top 30 of wide receivers.
And turf toe takes a hot minute to recover, right? Because I know that's what Joe had, and Joe was out for 3 months. He needs surgery, correct?
Going to be even more for him than it would be for Joe Burrow. Just Egbuka is makes his living with his feet, not his hands, like Joe does. So, scared. I don't have a lot of Egbuka. I just kind of went along with Chris Godwin, but
I will not draft Egg. It would 6th, 7th round. I would be.
I wouldn't draft him as a starter. I would need all my starting slots. I say starting slots, not my quarterback or tight end. I would need all of my wide receiver, running back, flex filled before I would want to draft him. It sucks. Really freaking sucks. But it's okay, folks. He's not the only player that we are going to talk about avoiding today. We've got a few of them, and we're going to dive right into them. You ready to do that?
Let's do it.
Too bad we're okay, you want to. Never mind then. Let's move on through here to my first one. It's Matthew Stafford. We're talking about a void here. I know, interesting, because it's ADP. It's not glaringly ridiculous. For the most part, people are reacting well. But this guy, he's going on average right now as the QB 12 in ADP consensus. 1001 on Sleeper, 707 on ESPN, 904 on Yahoo. 1001 in Sleeper, you could probably convince me if that's your build and that's the way you want to go, sure. I'm not in there. I just don't want to play this game. It's the statue quarterbacks. Now, sneak peek, my guy might be a statue quarterback, but I'm trying to find a pivot option so we don't do this because I cannot. I've talked so much crap on this other quarterback so badly. I can't make him on my guy. But regardless, statue quarterback. He's not going to throw 40 touchdowns. He's just not. Now he could. He very well. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But I'm willing to bet. Give me that bet that I could take that he does not throw 40 touchdowns because it's just not. It's not going to happen. That's not
Not
how this
needed.
works. And he needs that. He needs 4,500 yards. He needs 35 plus touchdowns. He doesn't give you that floor that the Russian guys give you so much. He's older. There's just so many opportunities to be disappointed here. Now, if you take him as your second quarterback, you're getting him late. You have a montage pause like mixing him up between others. That's fine. But no, Matt Stafford, I'm out.
Interesting. I don't hate his ADP. Like I'm definitely not taking him as like the first 12 quarterbacks, but where do you have him ranked then? Because I think he's around like QB 13, QB 12 to 14 range. Where do you have him? Because this is where I'm very curious.
Oh man, we briefly covered I'm at 20.
Okay, all right, that's a little mean and disrespectful
I
off of
have
an
him at
MVP
20.
season.
Now, do I actually think he's going to finish at 20? No. If he plays 16 plus games, he will finish in the top 14 because of injuries to other players. But it's the spike weeks. I don't think we're going to get the spike weeks that we had before, and it's the volatilities that's going to come with it. I would so much rather have Tyler Shuck, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Bo Nix, Jackson Dart, Brock Purdy. I'll take him over Patrick Mahomes. Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, Dak, and now we're up in the top 6, top 7. It just, yeah, I'm out.
I'm out of the ESPN price. Like I will say that wholeheartedly. Like the ESPN price is very gross. The sleeper in Yahoo, that's fine. Like you waited 10 rounds to finally take your QB. I think it's if you believe in Stafford, I do think that he's not going to be MVP. I don't think he'll be finished as QB2. I do think he's going to be near the end, but he'll be startable. I just don't know if I want to pick him out of some of the other guys as well.
That's kind of growing on that as well, just because we also have Puka, who is injured right now. Devontae Adams seemingly always gets injured. There's no depth in the wide receivers past that. So if one or two,
5 tight ends, Brian, they're just going to run a 5 tight end set out there. We know this.
Oh man! And they also play in Australia week 1 against the Niners, that's
That's a
going to be a
weird
rough game. And then they've got the Giants, and then Broncos, Eagles, Bills. It's not an easy. They've got one of the harder schedules too.
Oh, for sure. But they're favored in all of them except for one. I think it's a Seattle game, right?
That's true. Yeah,
That's
it's the
that's
Seattle
what we
at
both
Seattle.
expect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they do get to play the Cardinals twice. They play the Raiders. They play the Commanders in there. Chargers, Packers, Chiefs.
All those teams need to have a very good O-line that day. That's all I'll say.
This is true. So I don't think it, because of where he's at outside of the ESPN price, it's not going to kill your draft. I just think you could get so much sexier with it. You could get so much more at other spots with other players. So he is my first avoid. You ready for your first? Who you got?
My first is I went off of basically best ball stocks. I do think I will transition my best ball stocks into redraft. I think if I'm completely avoiding you there, I'll probably avoid you in redraft as well. But my first guy is Jayden Reed. It's not like I would say you're starting him, you're looking for him, but even just as a bench spot, I truly feel like he is only going to be valuable in certain. He's going to be on the field very limited. He's not going to be on the field in 2 wide receiver sets. They've already been confirmed. Christian Watson and Matthew Golden. And I actually think Matthew Golden is going to have a better year. I am drafting way more Matthew Golden than I am Jayden Reed. And I get it. Jayden Reed is a very special, talented player. But with him heavily relying on, 1, he needs Christian Watson or Matthew Golden to go down. 2, they need to throw in 3 wide receiver sets. It's just, I think it's going to be limited play for him. And you're going to be wasting a draft spot at the end of the day, and you'll probably be hitting waiver wires, or he'll be games where you just don't know when to start because it's a random touchdown that he had for a random play design for him.
This one's so. We've seen the skill. We saw the skill the rookie year. We saw what he can do. Unfortunately, we know what LaFleur likes to do with this team. We know that Jordan Love doesn't get to be superhero. He just manages the game. Not that he's just a game manager, but like they like to run the ball. The situation where I could see that he could pay off and he could be a big play is if he does get in there more involved with the two wide receiver sets. And if this team sucks, I think there is a more than zero chance that this team is not good this year, that the defense is bad, that Josh Jacobs is either banged up or just he's losing a step and they're forced to throw the ball. I think that is the realm where Watson actually could give you a top 12 upside and Jayden Reed potentially could also fall there in the top 30, top 24. But without those, one of those two things falling, which I think it's a small chance because it's the Packers. But outside of that, I completely agree. I think that you just don't get enough consistency for Jayden Reed to be a viable redraft piece.
Yep.
And he goes right by who? His counterpart in the AFC, Josh Downs, who also is an amazing talent that can't get on the field with two wide receivers. Or Chris Godwin, Quentin Johnson. I'd much rather have those other two over, Downs and Reed.
Yeah, where he goes, I just have completely evaded. It's like you said, the names Josh Downs, Quentin Johnson, Chris Godwin. Like I take Matthew Golden before I take Jayden Reed.
Addison's in that range too.
That's a coin flip for me. Like that's really a coin
wide
flip.
Receivers. 100% talented wide receivers, but they're not players that you want to plug and play in your lineup because of the volatility.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs goes in that range. Wan'Dale Robinson. I love both of those picks.
I like Wan'Dale a lot more. Stephon, you could talk me to Jayden Reed. It was Stephon either or.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, not
Okay.
Not all that confident with Stephon.
Alrighty. Cool. Let's go to the next one. What else we have? All right, look. It's not easy to do this when you pick players at the top, okay? But I try to do it to mix things up, do it a little bit here. So stay with me, folks. And I did this last year, and it actually worked out pretty. Our avoids, I meant to grab them beforehand, but I also thought that felt showboaty, and we don't want to do that here. But our avoids last year were pretty good.
Okay.
We were pretty good. And I'm gonna put Jonathan Taylor as honestly, it was between him and JSN. I had as avoids, and this isn't. Maybe I should paint this a little different. This isn't. I am not drafting him at all. Because there's a place where they fall where I think they're a good pick. I just think at their price, I think they're a bad pick. So Jonathan Taylor is going as the RB4 right now. The 7th overall pick. Guys behind him are going to be Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, James Cook, Ashton Jeanty, Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown. I like most of those picks over Jonathan Taylor.
That's crazy.
What did we see? Not all of them, a lot of them. But what did we see from Jonathan Taylor? We saw just an ass whooping each and every week for 9 straight weeks. This man pulled in 3 touchdowns. How many times? It was amazing.
Yeah, a lot.
But when this falls apart, it falls apart. And look, they're my boys. It's my team, so I feel like I can say it. But the Colts, for as much talent as they have, and this offensive line I've seen ranked as low as 23 by some of the experts, and as high as like 7 by some of them as well. Like consensus, it's a top 10 in most areas. The team feels soft. The team feels like they have a lot of talent, they can get a lot done, but if they're in a trench game, can they pull it off? The Colts just. They haven't felt like that in like 20 years. If we're being honest, we have had some amazing talent on the team, and it just had to drag this team. And I think this man can drag. I think he can drag a lot of men, but to drag 53 players, it's a lot of work. And a coach that sometimes I just don't know if it's there. So I don't think Jonathan Taylor would kill your team, but I would much rather have Chase Brown.
I knew you like Chase Brown a lot more. So James Cook, will you take ahead of him? Because he's going ahead of him.
I wouldn't personally, because James Cook is boring and he doesn't catch passes. But I would tell people I think that you should take James. I guess it's a coin flip for me there.
Jeanty?
I would take Jeanty over JT.
Hampton?
I would not advise people to, but I would. I don't have. I think I have Hampton ranked right behind JT.
The last name I'll say is Saquon, because I think you'd take JT before Derrick Henry.
I can't decide on those two. I really can't decide. Saquon has grown up in he's pulling up in my rankings a little bit more, but then I find a little hesitation. Another top 5 ranked offense could be the top 1 ranked offensive line with Saquon, but coin flip for me between those two.
This one's like, I don't know. I think it's so tough to say that it's a bad pick when it's in the first 2 rounds. Like I can see like where he's going compared to where you'd actually take him. I don't know. I just feel like the Colts, their plan B was, Anthony Richardson stretching out a band and smacking himself in the eye and breaking it, and then bringing in Phillip Rivers. I think it was just like, what are the odds? Because we see what Anthony Richardson can do when he's actually out there, and I think it obviously plays into it. But like, I like Jonathan Taylor. I do think that I do want him to be like RB6. I could really take him. RB4, I feel like that is his ceiling. So I do agree with you in some aspects of that.
And yeah, I don't want this just to feel clickbaity and running with it, because I would take him. I'm not letting him fall to RB20 before I finally take him. But I'm also not jumping at it. I think there's so many other picks you could have that are better than him. You talk about last year's first round, and like you couldn't imagine, but like. Ashton Jeanty last year went in the first round. That was a bad pick. CeeDee Lamb was injuries. That was a bad pick. Justin Jefferson, that was a bad pick. Saquon Barkley, that was a bad pick. Good. Brian Thomas Jr. was 14. That was a bad pick. But 16, that was a bad pick.
That killed somebody. That killed so many people.
Brock Bowers, 18. That was a bad pick. Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor, 21. That was a bad pick because you didn't take him soon enough. All right, let's go to the next one before the people grab their pitchforks. Who you got?
All right, my next one is, I don't know, wide receiver 3, I guess, for the Chiefs. It's Xavier Worthy. Again, another late guy. I just, I have another, like my other guy's a little earlier, but I just going through this, like I have 2% owned in best ball. His game, the whole shtick about Xavier Worthy is he's the fastest guy out there. That's great. The Chiefs have yet to been able to throw the ball 20 yards plus because no one lets Patrick Mahomes do that for a reason. And then when he does do it, it's a Taekwondo. It's to random dudes we don't know that are just they're one-trick ponies that are what is supposed to be Xavier Worthy. And so Tyquan Thornton's back. They gave him an extension. They actually were like, hey, we'd actually like you to come back because you're pretty good at what we hope Xavier Worthy is supposed to do. Worthy, again, is a buck, 65 soaking wet out there. Broke his collarbone running into his own teammate. I'm not saying I can't predict injuries, but looking at his overall fantasy value, where guys are going around him, I take so many other guys before I even think about Xavier Worthy.
Outside of a best ball format, or just any plug and play format, he just does not feel like a fun pick. Does not give me any inspiration. The argument you could make is just the fact of how much more. I guess no, I can't make one.
Here, I'm looking through the names right now of what's going behind him. Jacoby Myers, yep. Matthew Golden, yep. Dobbs, Diggs, Shakir. That's I could sit there and say
Xavier Worthy over Shakir.
Casey Concepcion, who I'm not even a fan of, sounds more fun. Don't know what he is, but he could be something better than Worthy. Devo, yep. San Francisco. Jalen Coker, sure, you can probably talk me into Worthy there.
Sure.
Yep. Rashid Shaheed, I think you'll get the same production output from Rashid Shaheed in fantasy as you would with Worthy.
I think there's actually a better chance for Shaheed. I think they may have to throw the ball a crap ton up there in Seattle, whereas the new identity for this Kansas City Chiefs team should be running the ball through Ken Walker, Patty Mahomes like last year.
Deshaun Stribling sounds way more fun. Don't know what he is.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. It gets to the point where it's like Omar Cooper, Trey Tucker, Jaylen. All right, then I have to put some respect for Worthy. But all those other guys I mentioned, I want them before I want Worthy.
Yeah, even running backs, Jordan Mason, Rashad White, Tyrone Tracy, sure, Keaton Mitchell, Jonah Coleman. I'll take all those guys over Worthy. Worthy, it's one of those guys he's going to go in home leagues just because he's a no name. Usually once you get past round 12, let me grab my second quarterback. Oh, let me grab my second tight end, because they don't know they don't. they're not listening to this show. They're not diving as deep as you are. So I think that's that's the way to go with that one. I like it. Next up, what is my next one here? Michael Wilson. Yeah, that guy. That one. The wide receiver, what, 2 over the last like 8 weeks or something like that. Sleeper, he's going 805, ESPN 912, Yahoo 909. So, yes, this is going to be a player that you take that isn't going to have to fit into your starting spot. So, could you take a dart throw on him? Sure. Sure. If you think, because the Cardinals' offense didn't look bad in this first preseason game. But again, it's preseason. Do they want to keep up that style of play all season? I don't believe they will. So, like, I'm out on Michael Wilson. At best, you're hoping he's the second best pass catcher on this team, correct? Because you have McBride. Jeremiyah Love's going to be competing for that. Marvin Harrison, they're still believers. He still might turn into something. So I'm looking for the fringe third best target in offense. That's on a really bad team. I just don't want to play. I don't want to play ball with that. I don't want to mess around with it. There's a similar situation with BTJ and Parker Washington. Yeah, I want to play that game. That's on a good team, playing for a good coach. This, I just don't see how it works out, especially for the full season. So Michael Wilson, I'm out. No hype will get me.
I'm in a full agreement with you. First off, like Michael Wilson, I have 1% owned in best ball. Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm at 11%. So like complete 9-day difference. Like they've made it adamantly clear. Like Marvin Harrison is going to be out there. He is going to be the guy leading it for the wide receiver room at targets. The only way Michael Wilson becomes, fantasy relevant is only when Marvin gets hurt. Like last year, he was, you ready? Till week 10, he was ranked 105, 61, 112, 72, 78, 40th, 56, 43, 45. And until Marvin got hurt in week 10, week 11, he was wide receiver 1, 9, 51, 1 again, 17, 25, 8, and then 5. Like,
Jeez.
he is the definition of I need Marvin to get hurt.
Yeah. And that's not a game I want. Well, actually, not that you want to play that game, but Marvin Harrison might be somebody you could play that game with. But Michael Wilson, I will not pick him up. Give me a tight end, give me a quarterback in that range, give me my depth pieces, but he won't be a part of it. All right, Brian, we talked about this backfield just a little bit in the news. Hit me with it. You love Travion Henderson. The talent, we heard all about it last year, but the price. Looks like the price can't pull you in.
Yeah, I own him in 2%. And then I own Ramondre. Let's see here. Let me just check this. I'm at 8%. So that's where I'm at with this backfield first off. Like changing the news now a little bit, being a 50-50 does increase him, like we just talked about earlier. I'm still out of the price though. Like 411 in sleeper, you are smoking crack before I even think about it. Yahoo even at 601. ESPN would probably be the most correct number, I would say.
I definitely could do ESPN at 703. With this report of the 50-50, yeah.
You're doing a building block with your fourth pick on a 50-50 split. Granted, he is talented. He is so much fun when he gets the ball in his hands. The problem is that when your own coach is like, he needs to work on some things, and it's been a continuous trend, and then you go back and look at the tape, he can't hit the holes correctly. It all makes sense as to why he had a running mate in college. Like Quinshon Judkins was his running mate. Like he had previous running mates too. Like I'm just out on the price of what it is. I think, if you get him in the 8th round, that's great. But having being your RB2, that sounds very scary.
On essentially the best handcuff in the game. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're spending a 4th round pick on a handcuff, which at 411, maybe you push it and you can get him at the 502. And you call him a 5th round pick. But either way, I'm out. I don't like it. Again, with the news, I'll get behind the 703. 601. In a 10-team league, I could get behind him on the Yahoo price. But it's your average 12-team league. No, 411 is just absurd. Pass the lighter because you've been hitting that crack rock, honey.
Yeah, and my problem with Henderson too is that like he was only volatile. We remember the game log, right? Like last year, like he wasn't good until Ramondre got hurt week 8, and then weeks 9 through 11 he was RB 15, 4, and 3, and then he came back and he was just like it was, RB 22, 26, 3, 60, 29, and 10 to end the year. It's just like too much up and down. That sounds like a flex play. Like I'm gambling on him to have one of those spike weeks compared to like you're locked and loaded in my RB spot.
Yeah, and I don't want to play that way. This is where he went last year. Like this is where he went last year. Nothing's changed. Except we might have more information on the situation at hand. So yeah, no, I'm out. I'll pass. Your next one. Who are we looking at here? Oh wait, no, it's mine.
It's you, silly goose.
My next one. What am I doing? Let's talk wide receiver. Let's talk about a wide receiver that went first round last year. Guy who finished, he did pretty well. But it's not just the players we're drafting. We're also drafting his teammates. And in this case, the guy who throws him the ball. So sure, he finished at the half PPR wide receiver 15 last year. 1,000 yards, 70 receptions, 7 touchdowns. But do you want to know where Tet McMillan? Yes, we call him Tet on this show because his mama don't come around here and tell us what to say. So, that's what I get away with. No. This man was 41% of his games were in the top 24. 41%. It's not great. It's not great. It's not the worst, but it's not great. Do you know how many games he finished in the top 12? 11%. 11% of this man's games were in the top 12. And that's my big issue. Like, he only scored a touchdown in one game in the first 10 weeks. Like I said, he had 7 touchdowns. 4 of those came in 2 games. He had 2 double touchdown games, which that's great. I love a guy who's capable of doing that, but I don't really think we're talking about his capabilities as a 6'4", 212 receiver. He has all of the talent in the world. But when he literally, he's double the height of his quarterback. Double the height. Think of that. That's how little Bryce Young is. 3'2". It's tiny. It's tiny. No, he's not that little. But either way, we also just had Darren Waller come to town too. Was just signed. Does the man still have it? Probably not. Is he a red zone threat? Abso-freaking-lutely. 6 touchdowns last year on the minimal snaps that he had, the minimal amount of games he had. So I think that crushes Tet's upside. Tet needs at least 7 touchdowns to make sure that he could hold himself viable in this. And if he's going to lose 3 or 4 touchdowns there, I'm out.
Yeah, he's I definitely don't have a lot of stock in him. I only have 4% in best ball, so I am in agreement with you where he goes. It's it's in a spot where just other guys are just I think they'll just be in a better position to score points because how he got his points, like you talked about, you broke it down perfectly. It was just oh man, I forgot what game it was. Yeah, he had 2 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown, which put him at 11 points, and it was wide receiver 29. And then he did it again. He had 1 catch, 1 touchdown. That was his only for 43 yards, but might have saved you from getting waxed in week 13. Yeah, how he comes across and getting his points right, it's just a little too nervous for me. And maybe it's a second year with Bryce Young and building some sort of chemistry. It could get better. Remind me who's going around him. I know it's Garrett Wilson. It was Luther Burden. That's kind of changed. He's got he has a lot of interesting names next to him, like Lad McConkey.
Yeah, I mean, so just above him, you've got Zay Flowers and Egbuka, who Egbuka's going to drop, which,
yep.
Yeah, I don't want Egbuka right now, but it doesn't mean I want Tet going up. So right behind him, you've got T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Lad McConkey, Jaylen Waddle. I think all those guys over him.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a name where I'm all right, it's a hard stop. Waddle is still. Devontae Adams might outscore me fantasy points.
Yeah. One's yards, one's touchdowns.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin or Tet?
Big Terry fan.
Luther or Tet?
I think I say Tet. I think I'm
I think there's more of an upside with Luther Burden. So as long as this is wide receiver 1, I'll take Luther Burden. Okay. Jameson Williams, I take Tet over JMO.
I'm indifferent. I don't have a hard I could take either or. Yeah, I think I take Tet. The injury scares me. We didn't talk about DJ Moore had a roll on his ankle in the game. He gave a thumbs up though. So wait, I think he's fine from my understanding. I'm actually starting to get on the DJ Moore train.
don't say that. He was almost my avoid, and the injury stung
Yeah.
me. So I was like, perfect. I don't have to worry about taking a side right now. But like DJ Moore's at 26, so like we're flirting with wide receiver
Yeah,
26 in the
it's
tail
a
end of conversation.
if he could be like your wide receiver 3, that's so cool. Like, yeah, that'd be
It's
great.
amazing. You get money
Yeah.
if you got him as 3. But yeah, Tet, I'm out. Seems to be that's the way we're looking. Next up, we got baseball tootin'.
I know this
I want to
hurts
talk about
you.
it.
I know when I said it. Yeah, I know when I said it, you got really upset because this is your boy. But he's going as what, RB 22, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of fluctuates a little bit, but yeah, right in that area.
First off, Liam Cohen's offense it's heavy pass. It's like just off the rip. It's more on Trevor Lawrence moving the ball than it is the running backs. And they have a multitude of running backs. And now in practice, they're talking about, well, Chris Godwin's actually going in on the goal line, and he's actually been splitting the reps of getting the first touch between him and Tootin. And they've also talked about their 6th round pick becoming the 3rd down back.
Bashal or LaQuint Allen, 7th round pick.
LaQuint Allen, yes, and he's involved in this offense. They've said that he has gone in on 3rd down. So like, where the price is for Tootin, I know where you're at with him. You think he's talented. You think the talent will keep him on the field, and that very much could be so. But he's also not the biggest back, if I'm not mistaken. Like he is. Oh wait, he actually is perfect size, 5'9", 209. So correct me, but I do think that he is going to be a 50-50 backfield. And where you're getting him, the guys that he's going around, I just think will have a little more steadier workflow than he will.
I mean, Dave Montgomery and Henderson are going ahead of him. I want Tootin.
Tootin before Henderson. I will fully agree with this one.
Price, Warren, and Stevenson. Nobody. I guess this is my thing: is nobody else has the ceiling that Tootin has in this range. Could he?
Sure.
Could he be 80% of what all of those guys that I just named of? I think that's within the realm of possibility. One of the higher chances is he is 70-80% of those guys. So you kind of you lose that battle. But I think that he could also be 50+% more than any of these also players as well. All I'm worried about is Chris Rodriguez and 7th round LaQuint Allen. Sure. On one of the best offenses in the league, sure. I'll take that shot. I have no problem with it. With him being he's my RB3 in just about every one of my drafts. RB2s if I've gone wide receiver heavy or taking a tight end. Well, we know which tight end we're taking if we're taking one early. But I respect it. That's why I can't make him a my guy because I'm not 10 toes dug in. He won't be a my guy because of this reason. I think there is reason to be hesitant, but it's just the price. I'll take a shot.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. Next up, I think this is my last one. Again, pick it up at the top. I don't know why. I like to play dangerous, I guess, or stupid. My wife says. De'Von Achane coming in as consensus RB8. On average at the 202 on Sleeper, 112 ESPN, 204 Yahoo. The most consistent running back last year.
No kidding.
I get it.
I just pulled it up. All green, brother.
All green. Wasn't a single bad one. But if you look at it too, did he really blow up last year? Like on that crappy team, did he get a chance to truly give us something incredible that we saw in those first couple of years, with McDaniel? Yeah, not really. We had a 29-point game. He's got 128 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 4
All
catches, 22 yards.
double-digit games.
All double digits is
Golly.
fine. But this was on a team that threw the ball a lot with the quarterback over the last 2 years who's checked down more than anybody. And now you're going to a smaller passing pie to a probably, I'll just split the difference and say an equal passer who doesn't check down as much, who can run on a significantly worse team. Significantly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, De'Von Achane's the best pass catcher. He'll get everything. Not if they bottle him up. Not if they load the box. Not if they just go to focus and stop him. I just think there's too many things to fail for why would I take the chance at him when I could take Chase Brown who was behind him. Give me Derrick Henry. Achane, how many touchdowns? Like, what do you think is over under his first touchdown on the season? What would you say? Like, total touchdowns?
5.5. I think it's pretty low, right?
You really think you're going to be a top guy with that many touchdowns?
He's going as well, RB8, right?
RB8, yeah.
Yeah.
He
I think he's in the
behind
back
him, I
half of
would
that.
take Chase Brown, Henry, Walker, and Hampton without even thinking. All four of them are going behind
I'm okay with those names. Yeah. I
him.
don't have any pushback there.
Love's gonna fall.
Yeah, it's not, you
Breece,
can't use that.
I'd take Breece
You
and
say
Kyron before him.
Kyron, I can understand. Not, I don't know about Brees. I think they're both in the same situation.
I, I could agree with that. I'll take that. But I think the offensive line's better for the Jets this
Like
year.
Javante, this will be the test point. This will be like the litmus test. Javante Williams or De'Von
Yeah, give me
Achane.
Javante.
Oh, bro.
Javante has the best odds to score double-digit
Oh,
touchdowns.
I know he
Like,
does. I saw that.
honestly, I think they're very equal. And what they're going to give you, I think they could give you something very equal as far as like what they give you on a points per game basis.
Dude, he was so good last year. Like I just like
I loved Achane.
dude,
I had him a lot. I had a lot of him.
the weeks where he was RB17 and he was RB17 twice. That was his worst finishes. He put up 14 points and 17 points those weeks, by the way, too. So like, man, it's a tough one. I'm not necessarily fading De'Von Achane. Like he would I'm not reaching for him either. He definitely would have to like come to me and for the drafts be like, yeah, this is where I'll take him. Like I'm like if I had like the picks of 10 through 12, I'm not taking him there. Like if I had like pick 8, I'd be pretty happy. Like, all right, like
If he falls to me the 2-3 turn, sure.
yeah, 2 turn, I'm hammering it. You get Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, and also De'Von Achane, one of those combo. That's
Sounds
pretty
nasty.
good.
Let's talk about another guy who's right in that area, George Pickens. He was a guy for us to pick up last year. But the price has moved, folks. He is coming in wide receiver 10 this year.
He's just so weird for me, right? Like we you can talk about George Pickens in so many ways. He's super talented. He's on a good offense. Dak is really good at throwing the football. It's just the problem is he's right next to CeeDee Lamb, who's a better wide receiver than he is, and you could argue, I don't know, 2, 3 to be the best receiver. Like he's not one. It's Jamar Chase. I'm not going to put him up there, but like he is just ultra talented. And the only way George Pickens becomes heavily like used to where you're getting him at is when CD goes down.
Yeah.
When CD's in the game, if I'm looking at the game logs correctly, it was weeks 11 through 12. CD was out. He was finished as wide receiver 3 and 4. That's phenomenal. But like when they're together and concurrent, he fluctuates. He'll be wide receiver 15 and then wide receiver 16, then 2 and then 24, 2 again, 28, 17, 27. It's all over the place. And there's just guys that I feel like can be a little more consistent or just get more out of it.
He is a beautiful wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2s can be boom busty. My wide receiver 1, typically with my builds, I want more stability on that. 100% agree. Another guy that's going to give you less stability, Kyle Monangai. You got him on your avoid list too.
It's just a weird situation for how high he's going. Like everyone is just I think everyone clamors to like a couple games that he did really, really well. He finished as like his peak finishes were RB3, 8, and 12. Other than that, his years were 59, 47, 56, 59, 38, 52, 32, 23, 24, 32, all red. It's just
He only
red
had 2
across the
games
board.
over 50% snaps.
Yes.
And
those are the games that
Swift missed time last year.
Yes.
So it's another one of those sexy RB2s. I think people think they're going to be able to flex him more than you can. And I don't think you're going to know when you can flex him. And he's a 7th round running back end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, can't be lost.
The guys that are going behind him here, I'll say the names. Rachaad White, I would like. Jordan Mason, well, that's RB the 1 apparently from Minnesota. Kenny Gainwell, yep, I think he's going to get a ton of receiving work in Tampa. Jacory, apparently I think it's going to be a split back between him and Rachaad White. Chris Rodriguez, again, he's going to be a goal line back. Sounds like he will be on the field guaranteed for most spots. It gets to the point where it's like, all right, Aaron Jones, Keaton Mitchell, like who do you like more in the backup sense and like where they'll be favored as?
But honestly, I think I view them all as the same. You put them all in the same bucket. I really don't give a shit where people put them in their order as far as like Monangai, Orem, Gainwell, White, Tracy, Keaton Mitchell, Chris Rodriguez, Jonah Coleman, sure. Like, folks, for us putting these in a ranking, it's hard as hell because I really want to put him labeled as RB 33 through 42. That's what I want his rank to be.
Yeah, it's about right where everyone would be ranked as well.
Because honestly, it could be a touchdown difference between who falls where on that list. But we're both pretty big. I mean, I'm definitely a big Swift believer for this year. You're in that same boat.
Yes, I would love him as my RB2. I'd be really, really happy.
Ecstatic, especially for a coach who talks about wanting to break the points record, man.
Yeah, literally just no mercy.
Let's do it. All right, last one we have here before we get out. Last Avoid. I think this is the second my guy that I had from last year.
Good call.
Got him on your Avoid. Hit me with it.
I think we just saw Drake Maye's best season ever. I truly think that like we saw his best season ever, and I'm not saying that he won't have a good year this year, but one, they had the easiest schedule, and they were, and the team was pushing for him to get MVP. Let's just call it him and Stafford. They were in a race of like who could get the most dump touchdowns passing they could possibly get. It was a race. I don't see that happening again. He is a very good quarterback. He's going in an area where I'm like okay with in a sense, but it's guys I'd like to take ahead of him. I like Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels moves his legs more. When you rush more as a quarterback, I like you more.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow on a 17-game base versus Drake Maye 17-game pace, he shits on him. It's not even actually close for the numbers. It was like 4,500 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions compared to Drake Maye's his best season, which was, I'm going to look here, history, was he had 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions with 450 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Joe Burrow, again, if he plays all healthy, he's ahead of him. Jalen Hurts, tush push isn't going away. So I have all three of those guys ahead of him. And I'm not saying Drake Maye's bad, but I just want those other guys before him.
I don't like the price. I think there's an argument to be made. They're going to be in closer games this year, which could require, a bit more from him, more passing, stuff like that. But I don't like the price. I don't love Drake Maye. I'll probably have him in one of my redraft leagues, and that's my home league because it's super flex and it's a keeper league. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of Drake Maye. I am kind of lockstep with you on this one. Give me anybody else that's cheaper and that goes running behind him.
And then tight end wise, Gadsden, don't draft him. That's like he's tight end 20. He should be like tight end 33 right now.
I didn't really have a lot of tight ends. The top 8, the consensus non-streamers, I like them all. If I had to say one, it'd probably be Trey McBride, but just because of price, and I feel like that's cheap to do that for all my players I pick.
Who are our do not draft list last year? I'm just curious. Like who do we say?
I don't have that in front of me.
Oh no.
Folks, if you want to know, hit us up in the comments, and I'll let you know. We'll comment there. How about that? Because you guys are hitting those likes and subscribe buttons down below as we're shutting it down for the day. Brennen, what else you got for the people?
It's almost season starts. Gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly. Whether you're doing folks, like, subscribe. It's the podcast. It's the YouTube. We're here for you all preseason, all
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to go somewhere different, and I was like, oh, nope. Time's clicking. The song's about taking Breece for us running out. We're going to see y'all next time. Thanks for listening.